How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk. Cosplay Con Talk is basically a podcast series that we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. We are doing another segment of Get to Know That Cosplayer, and tonight's featured guest is Fran Cheezy.
Hi guys. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. So, how are we doing tonight, Fran?
I'm doing good. I had a long day at work and I was stuck in traffic and now I'm finally home. So I'm just grateful to be home after a long day of work.
Well, that's good. And again, thank you for wanting to be a featured guest on this
Of
podcast
course.
series.
Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. So, to begin, how long have you been cosplaying for?
I've been cosplaying for 6 years now and it has been quite a journey. And I've had a lot of fun and crazy experiences.
That's
But it's
six
been
years.
fun.
That's
Mostly
a
fun,
that's
yes.
a long time. So you've been cosplaying since 2015.
That is correct. I
Oh,
started January of 2015.
oh well. So beginning of the. Oh wow, a long time.
Yes.
What was your very first con back then?
Well, the first con I was trying to go to was Anime LA, but it was when it was still located in Los Angeles, but the tickets sold out. So the first convention I ended up going to was WonderCon in Anaheim in 2015.
Nice. And what was it like going to a con back then?
Okay, well, let me see. My first con was not like most con goers' experiences. Before I cosplayed at a convention, I went to an event called Club Cosplay back in the day. That was my first time cosplaying. It was in a club in LA, and I met a bunch of people that night. I met this one guy. My friend gave him my number, and he said, "You should go to WonderCon, and we'll hang out." So I went to WonderCon with my best friend. We both started cosplaying at the same time. Sorry about that. And this guy, I'm gonna call him Brent, not his name, but we're gonna call him Brent.
That's
He was like,
perfectly
"Hey guys,
understandable.
come to our hotel for a party."
Oh,
He's like, "Thanks." He was like, "Hey guys, come to our hotel." I think it was the Marriott. The Marriott. It's like right by the Anaheim Convention Center. He's like, "Hey guys, just come to our party at our hotel, and it'll be fun." So we got there. We went to
that
the
doesn't sound
hotel,
sketchy at all.
and right, but me and my friend were just new to the game and just trying to make friends. So we're like, oh, let's go. So we walked. At first, we walked around in the exhibit hall, and then we went to the hotel, and, and we went there, and there were people that were passed out on the
Mm.
floor. It was a room full of people, and most of the people were kicked out of the con. They were banned from the con, but they were just, I guess, celebrating in the room.
That's one
So
weird
it's
way of
really different.
That's one weird celebrating getting kicked out of the con and just get. Oh wow.
So yeah, those were people that were like banned, but then it was when you could still kind of ghost conventions back in the day before it was like virtually impossible.
Ghost conventions. What's that term? I've never heard of that term before.
Ghosting, you've never heard that term? So ghosting is when you go to a convention and you just take pictures outside and you don't pay for a ticket to go inside.
Oh, kind of like window shopping in a sense.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
Okay,
So yeah,
I've
people back in the day, they would ghost. They would just be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to show up in my costume and I'm going to take pictures with the photographers, and since I don't have a ticket, I'm not going to go inside." And that's how a lot of cosplayers used to do their thing back in the day.
I've
But
I've
now,
I've heard of that where if they don't buy like their tickets or something, they can still do the stuff
mhm,
outside of the con. They just can't go in the building.
that's very true. But now they've made it very, very difficult because they put like scanners and different gates and things up. So it's virtually impossible. You have to, for the most part, you have to have a badge to go to the convention now, to
That's,
go anywhere.
that makes perfect sense. What was your very first cosplay for your con?
I was a steampunk version of Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
I've
Yeah, I
I've
found the artwork online.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen a few steampunk Ariel cosplays. What was it like in your experience cosplaying as a steampunk Ariel?
Well, that was the first time I wore a corset, so I couldn't breathe. It was a little different, but it was really fun. Ariel's one of my favorite princesses. So it's like I got to be like a sexier version of Ariel. So it's cool. It was really cool. Originally, I was gonna be Lisbeth Salander from the girl with the dragon tattoo, but it was way too hot. I
Oh,
figure
this
let's put Ariel together.
is that the
So
chick with like the
I
short
put
black
that
hair?
together. Yes, girl with the dragon tattoo.
Okay, I've never seen that movie or read the book, but I know who you're talking about though.
Definitely, yeah. I really like that character, but I was like, no, let's bring something a little lighter. It's across the street from Disney. Let's be Ariel.
So, would any advice you like to give for those who are, contemplating on cosplaying a character that wears a corset? What advice would you give?
You don't have to pull it all the way, and I know some people would say otherwise, but you have to make sure you can still move comfortably around the convention. Because I had somebody corset me in an Ariel at San Diego Comic Con one time, and I almost passed out, and I
Oh
could not
no.
breathe. So don't compromise your life for
I
cosplay.
I mean, I know the
Don't
point.
don't yeah yeah
I mean, I know the point of a corset and all, but like you still need, like you said, you still need to be able to move and breathe and all that stuff.
yeah. A lot of the times, like when you're cosplaying, there for the most part, there's always at least one thing in your costume that's uncomfortable. So try to make the most out of it, and try to be as comfortable as you can.
Right, that makes perfect sense. So, someone who's been cosplaying for 6 years, what got you into cosplaying?
Well, there was a show that came on back in 2013 that came on the Sci-Fi Channel called Heroes of Cosplay.
Ah, I remember that show.
Yeah,
Ah, such a good show.
I started watching that.
Nice.
And I was like, that looks really fun. I said, they make costumes and they go to conventions. I said, that's pretty cool. I said, I might want to try that one day.
Oh
So
man.
that's what led me to start cosplaying. I was like, I think I can do this. And it looked like tons of fun. I've always loved dressing up since Halloween. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's give it a try. Let's
I,
see how it goes.
I think that's like any cosplayer's first time ever dressing up is Halloween.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Nice. No, and I think, I remember here as a cosplay. I remember when I used to watch that. It's like, I think that's any, person. They may not get to go to a convention, but if they watch that, they kind of get to have
Mm-hmm.
that little experience of going to what a convention
I
can
agree.
be like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I would also
no, go
um
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I get excited. I'm like, I start rambling. I would also drop my brother off at Anime Expo each year, and I would see the people in costumes. I said, "What is that? Why are they dressed up like that?" Because my brother would go to panels and stuff, so I knew nothing of cosplay. And I would see the people in costumes, and I was intrigued. And then I saw Heroes at Cosplay, and I said, "That's what the people in the costumes were doing. They were going to cosplay."
Very nice. I think.
Thank you.
Oh, I think especially in all that. Um, so for those who were you know, wanting to go to conventions and everything, would you recommend Anime LA as someone's first con or WonderCon as their first con?
I love, I absolutely love WonderCon because it was my first con. So that con will always be very close to my heart. But I've gone my second year cosplay, or my first full year after cosplaying, I got the chance to go to Anime LA, and it was really awesome. I got to debut a Chibi Moon cosplay, and I did like I got to perform in the masquerade. So it was really cool. I recommend, I recommend both those cons actually. They just decided to move Anime LA to Long Beach, so it'll be relocated.
Nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people are, are waiting for cons to come back because, COVID kind of
Yes.
canceled that, and I've seen other cons that open up during COVID and they have their mask mandate and everything. I just, in my personal opinion, and I'm sure you have yours. I think, how do you feel
Hmm.
about conventions going on during COVID?
I feel like, ooh, it's like hit or miss. Like I do want to go to conventions, but like I want to feel safe. I don't necessarily want to have to wear a mask with each costume, but like I like the safety factor. But I'm pretty sure by next year we'll be able to go to conventions again.
Oh yeah,
Like I'm
most.
hoping. I have a good feeling though.
I think
But
that's what a lot
yeah,
of people
having to wear a
are
mask would kind
hoping.
of yeah.
Yeah, no, because
I
there are a
agree.
lot of cosplays that you can't really wear a mask because some people like to go all out with their cosplays, and I'm sure you're one of those cosplayers who like to go all out with when it
I
comes to your
tried to,
cosplays.
yes. I try to go out as full out as I can and commit to it.
Very nice. Now, when cons come back, do you have that one cosplay that you have not cosplayed in so long that you would want to bring back?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I debuted it a couple years ago. I barely have any pictures of it. I did a gender band raid-in for Mortal Kombat. I'd love to bring that back to the con scene when things open up.
Oh, nice. I think I actually saw that on your Instagram that you were with two other
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat
I was with
cosplay.
Utahime. Yes.
Very
Utahime
nice.
and Alicia Marie Body.
Nice. So what was it
Thank
like
you.
cosplaying as the gender bend thunder god?
It was really cool actually because I designed the version of it because I made it a dress and I didn't wear pants. But the one kind of scary thing was the white contacts because you can't see. It's like almost like you put a sheet of paper in front of you and you can just see like a shadow.
Oh, that the
So I
mesh
needed I
contacts.
needed help walking around. Yes, yes, the mesh contacts.
Nice. Yeah, no, I look at it and listen. And but you said you made all that by yourself?
Well, my mom and I. My mom is the genius behind all my cosplays.
Oh, that's
She makes all my cosplays, and I
uh,
work on like little details. I'm still learning to sew. It's a process.
well,
But yeah, my mom made my Raiden cosplay.
well, you guys did a really good job. Like I haven't seen many female versions of Raiden, and that's like, how long did that take you both to make?
I think we were working on it for like a month. I think we worked on that for like a month. Actually, I know what I contributed. I did the armor for that one.
Nice. And like I said, that
Thanks.
what kind of materials did you use, especially like for like the leg guards and everything?
I used I think I used foam and warbler.
Nice. Very nice.
Warbler is like a how would I describe warbler? I don't know how to describe it exactly, which is really bad. But you can melt it with heat. You can shape it and mold it wherever
Okay,
you need it to be with
I
heat.
think I know what you're talking about. Most people like would use it on their like for on boots or something and use a heat gun.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
heat gun for like for armor stuff. Yeah,
nice. Nice. Now, are there any cosplays, that you haven't done that you would want to showcase?
like that I have done during like quarantine
Um,
or
no,
or
what
just in the future.
in the future, like they're like those
Okay,
those cosplays that you've always wanted to cosplay as, but you never had like the money or time or whatever.
Mary Poppins,
Ooh, that'd be pretty interesting to see.
Jolly Holiday, Mary
Who
Poppins. That's up there for me.
nice. And now, does your significant other do they cosplay as well?
My boyfriend, yes, he does cosplay with me. He's actually Utahime's brother.
Oh, nice. Now,
Thanks.
do you guys ever done a couples cosplay together?
We have, let's see, our first one was Clueless inspired. I was Dion from Clueless, and he was Murray
Nice.
from Clueless.
That's not many people cosplay a lot of characters, especially movie characters from the 90s.
I think it's fun to do like nostalgic stuff every once in a while and like bring it back.
Nice. Now, again, I was, checking out your Instagram, and I've noticed you cosplayed as Lulu from Final Fantasy X.
I did. I think that was like one of my last. That was like one of my last like more recent ones before like the pandemic happened. It was like a year before the pandemic happened. Yeah.
Now, did you and your mom make that cosplay as well?
My mom made that one. That's all her.
Wha- Okay, I gotta ask. and I know because I've I used to play Final Fantasy VIII as a kid,
Yes,
and
that's
Lulu
the
was
game.
Lulu was one of my favorite characters, and I know her cosplay is just massive and very
It's
detailed.
crazy.
How long, if you can remember, did it take your mom to make your Lulu cosplay?
I think that one took her 2 months,
Oh
if I
wow.
recall. It took her 2 months to make that one.
Oh jeez. That's a very long time.
Right? It was one of my dream ones. It's like I have to do this. I tried to commission somebody to do it originally because I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if we can do it." But then that lady, the person never got back to me. So I figured, Mom, can you give it a try? She said, okay. So we started looking for certain fabrics. We couldn't find like the like the patterns on the bottom and the edging of her skirt and sleeves. We couldn't find that, so we found something similar with like a similar like colorway. So it was our own,
Right.
but it was like similar to what hers was.
And what kind
Sometimes we
of
try to improvise when we can't get the exact.
that? And I think that's like probably the best thing anyone can do.
Mhm.
Again, that's a really well done cosplay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, and I don't mean to in this in any kind of weird way. As a person of color, what has it been like cosplaying? In the years you've been cosplaying.
Um, well, the first how many years? First 4 years I went through cosplay. Like I didn't really. Sometimes it would be hard because people wouldn't take my photo, but I just brushed it off. Um, my best friend we would always take each other's photos at the convention, so it wasn't like a big deal. And then I networked and became friends with some of the photographers, so I would eventually get photos. But that's last year, yeah, last May, one of my Lulu photos went viral, and it got shared all over the place. And it was shared on a Final Fantasy page, I think in France, and
Oh,
people were ripping it apart. They said, "Oh, why is this black person Lulu?" They were like, F your tan Lulu. She's ugly. She has no right. Her skin's too dark. She's burnt." So it was like a whole bunch of craziness. I was like, wow, people are really ugly and
yeah,
hateful.
no, the gatekeeping in the cosplay community, and that's another reason why I brought,
It's crazy.
why I created this is just to bring awareness that, and I'm sure you'll agree that cosplay is for everyone, no matter your age, your height, your race, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You can say that again. Yes.
So yeah, and again, thank you for answering that question. I know that
Of
kind of
course.
I know that question makes some people uncomfortable, but it's like I feel like it needs to
It needs to
be
be said.
exactly. And as a person of color,
Mm-hmm.
you know what that's like cosplaying characters that are a different race.
Yes. And some people are afraid to cosplay anything other than black characters. And it shouldn't be like that. Everybody should be whoever they want to be. It's about it's about the costume
Oh,
and the fun and
most
the joy of dressing up.
most definitely, because I've also seen on TikTok lately of people of color, getting bashed because they're not
Mm-hmm.
cosplaying a character that's their race. And again, it shouldn't matter your skin color as long as you're enjoying that character and having fun. That's all that should really matter.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Um, Now, any advice for people of color who are getting into cosplay or starting out cosplay? Is there any advice you would like to give them?
I would tell any cosplayers of color that want to, I mean, any people of color that want to get into cosplay, just block out the hate because if you don't, it will get to you and eat you up and make you feel bad for wanting to do something different. Like when I first started cosplaying, I was told, Black people don't do that. Why would you do that? And I said, because I think it's cool. So I think anybody advice for any person of color, just ignore the naysayers and the haters and just do what you want to do because life is short and you might as well have fun.
Oh, I cannot argue with that. That is definitely true. I feel like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, POC cosplaying is not, well known, and I don't really see many people of color go to cons, which I would love to see more of.
Whoa, yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen a whole lot of people of color at cons.
Not not when I started. I was like one of the only black people I used to see.
Really? Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't see that many. Now I'm like,
That's
yay,
crazy.
there's more people of color.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see that more people of color are starting to cosplay.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So we got about 9 more minutes to go. Now as a
No
cos
worries. It's easy. I love it.
now as a cosplayer, and I know every cosplayer story is different. Have you ever had a cosplay that when you've gone to a convention that something's ripped, torn, fallen off, or just it just didn't it just is something you didn't like about it?
So I don't know what exactly I had a Sailor Cosmos cosplay that my mom put together, and I had to fix something. I had like super glue. I had to like fix an earring or something that I made, and it spilled on my dress and
Oh
a meltdown. And I didn't
no.
want to, I didn't want to go inside. And then my contacts, I had the circle lenses that are like way bigger than your eye.
Oh, like the
My
ones that
eyes
make your
started to
eye
get
complete,
dry,
like the
and
ones that make your eye completely almost blacked out, or
kind of. It's just like it's a little like it's not that. I wish I had those. It's like they're bigger than your natural eye, and it takes up a good portion,
oh,
but it's not those ones.
oh, okay, I
But
know
my
what you're talking
eyes were
about.
dry, and I was just a hot mess that day. I said, I don't want to go in, and my best friend said, it's okay, let's just have fun. If you don't want, we don't take pictures. But then we were able to like adjust the dress so you couldn't see where the glue was. So that was probably like my only time the costume was kind of messed up. I was so disappointed. I was like,
And I feel like every cosplayer has those stories. I know a lot of cosplayers don't
that
want to.
moment.
I know a lot of cosplayers don't like sharing those kind of moments, but it's like it. I feel like, and I'm sure you'll agree that it teaches you, hey, this may happen, but you can always improve on that.
I agree.
Now, have you and you've made your own cosplays? Have you ever had a crunch on a cosplay, like you got it done like a day before the con?
All that when I first started, that happened a lot. Or like, oh, just kidding, you, because my mom has been sewing since I guess since she was younger, and I used to be in show choir. She would make our costumes, and then when I danced in high school, she would make my costumes then. But she's made like performance where she's never made something just by looking at it. So the first like I think year, like sometimes it would take a while. Like I was supposed to be Chun Li at WonderCon, and we didn't get. And that was in, let me see, April. We didn't get that one together until October. So like my first about my first year, sometimes the costumes wouldn't come together, but I slowly got a bunch of costumes together. But yeah, I had things that wouldn't come together the day of, or or they would come together the day of. So it
Gotcha.
was trial and error my first year.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, how often when you go to a convention, how often do you get recognized for your cosplays?
Shockingly, a lot. Shockingly, a lot. I didn't think people would recognize me. And I hear people say, Fran Cheezy. And then somebody came up to me and said, oh my gosh, can I please take a picture with you? I said, you want to take a picture with me? They said, yes, please. I said, of course. I'm shocked. Like, I'm still like, I'm shocked you want to interview me. I never thought I would get to do podcast or anything cool like that in my life. I never thought cosplay would bring cool opportunities like this.
Oh yeah, no. And again, thank you for wanting to be a guest. I'm glad that a lot of people have took an interest in this podcast series. Not mainly just for,
That's great to hear.
it's it's more so, to get the word out there that hey, cosplay is still a thing despite COVID, and it also gives
Mm-hmm.
the conventions, the
Thank you.
cosplayers, the recognition that, that you would normally see at a con.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Um Trying to think what else.
No worries.
Have you ever entered any competitions for a convention?
I I entered the Masquerade for D23, and I did a ballerina version of Princess Tiana, and I was dancing on point in the contest.
Oh, wow. What was that like
Thank
going
you.
to
That's the
what was it like going to D23?
It was, well, let me see. That was back in 2017. The first year I went to D23, I was just part of a cosplay group. We were all Disney princesses as ballerinas, and that was pretty much the extent of my first time going to D23. But my second time I competed, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but I definitely want to compete more in the future, especially since I haven't gotten a really cosplay in like over a year. I
Mhm.
think it'd be really fun to just put myself out there and see where it takes me.
Nice. And I was told by your friend Urahime, shout out by the way, that you've been in some magazines before. Care to share a little bit about that?
Definitely. I was featured in my first article was from this brand called Naturally Curly. They run out of state of Texas, and they wanted to share Halloween costume ideas. So that was my first article. I was also featured for my Dion Davenport cosplay in Oprah Mag. I've been featured in Essence magazine. I've been featured for a couple articles for D23, and I've been featured in, let me see, Cosplay Culture magazine and Cosplay Zine, and I'm trying to think, Cosplay Alliance magazine. So I've been featured in a few cosplay magazines. What is it? Not Entertainment Weekly, US Weekly, something like that. The
Oh,
list goes on. It's not like Utahime. She's amazing. She's famous.
oh yeah, no. Again, I have to thank her for telling you about this. That's definitely a good thing to have more people interested in this.
Nice. I think it's great
Oh,
what
thank
you're
you,
doing.
thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Now before we end this, is there any other
Mm-hmm.
advice you like to give out there for people who are wanting to, considering going to their first con, or those who are considering to
Yes.
cosplay and stuff like that? Any quick advice you like to share?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So one thing you will have to adjust to is, is wearing a costume when it's not Halloween and getting very odd looks when you go to the gas station. Like I went to, what was it, Anime Expo, and people were flipping me off and honking their horn and cussing at me because I had red eyes and pink hair. And it was weird because it was 4th of July. So that's fun. So you just have to brush off like the weird feeling of I'm wearing a costume and it's not October. But once you get past that, it's no biggie.
And conventions are just basically like Halloween in a sense, except they're just it's more than one day.
It definitely is. It's most of the time it's 3 days. Sometimes it's four, depending on the convention. Like Anime Expo's 4 days. Comic Con I think is 4 or 5 days.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, I
There's
know it's a lot. Conventions are fun. They're just tiring and super
oh,
draining.
I imagine, with a 5 day con, that's just a lot to take in.
It's draining.
uh, that's crazy to think that there are cons out there that are just more than like 2 days.
I know it's a lot.
So again, Fran Cheezy, thank you for being another featured guest on Cosplay Con
Of
Talks. Get to know
course, you're
that
very
cosplayer.
welcome.
And if you're ever wanted to return to discuss a certain topic about conventions or cosplaying, you are more than welcome to.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
You are
I
most
had a good
welcome.
time.
Again, I am Wayne the Unknown, joined here by Fran Cheezy.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
You are most
Thank you,
welcome.
Wayne.
You are most welcome. Until next time, thank you everyone for listening, and also thank you for watching.